Another recipe I am going to be sharing with you today is going to be one of my favorites to make is carrot cake. As many of you know, Easter is coming up, but this is a good any time of year treat that you can make. Has at least a little bit of healthiness to it, having so many carrots in it. So we're gonna get our trusty mixer, or if you don't have a mixer, that's fine too. A bowl and a whisk works just as great. So we're gonna start by adding our eggs, our sugar, and our oil. We're gonna give that a good mix here. All right, when that's combined, go ahead and stop your mixer. To that, I'm going to add cinnamon, baking soda, baking powder, and a little pinch of salt. Also, I'm going to add our gluten-free flour very carefully so it doesn't spill everywhere. I guarantee I still spill some. It's kind of my MO. All right, making sure that's all getting down into the bowl where it can mix better. We're gonna go ahead and turn it back on. As you can see, I missed. We're gonna turn it back on for a good 4 or 5 minutes to let that go ahead and mix. When you're mixing gluten-free flours, it's really important to give it time to hydrate. When you're using normal flours that have wheat in it, that hydration happens very quickly. But gluten-free flour blends or just gluten-free flours that are single mixes can take a lot longer to rehydrate. So make sure to give it a good amount of time to mix together and incorporate. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and scrape down the bowl and we'll mix again for a few minutes. Just to make sure everything gets incorporated. Scrape off some more of this flour. All right, my mixer here, the Ink Sacrum, it actually has a timer on it, so it's really nice. I can go ahead and set the speed and set the timer so that I make sure I don't stop early and not let that hydration take place. All right, so now that that's had time to mix and has shut off with the timer, we're gonna add all of our shredded carrots at once. You wanna make sure you don't have your whisk attachment put on because all these carrots will get really stuck in it if you do. And if you are making it at home in a bowl with a whisk, go ahead and switch to a spoon or a dough whisk if you have one of those. Go ahead and fold in the carrots just for a minute, just so it's combined. All right, so that's done. Go ahead and take off your whisk. And you'll notice that after you add the carrots in, your batter is gonna be a lot more wet again. It kind of gets pretty thick there for a minute, but the carrots give it that moisture right back. Then you're going to make sure to spray your muffin tin or put in little cupcake, what are they called? Cupcake papers, liners, there we go, liners. Today I'm gonna be using cupcake liners since we're gonna use these for Easter to make sure that they are a lot more portable and easy to get where we want them. So go ahead and line each of these, and then we're going to use a measuring cup to get approximately the same amount in each of these tins. And about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup is going to be The best one to use, of course, I already misplaced mine, so we're using 1/2 cup and just eyeballing it. But I've made these enough times that I can get pretty close to where we need it. Also, if you are lucky enough to have a cookie scoop, that works really good too to get this batter into the muffin tins. Try not to do what I did and get it on the outside, because that's gonna burn and smell not the greatest and be really not fun to get off sometimes. These pans are really good though. They're all American brand and I've really enjoyed, oh sorry, USA. They're USA pan is what they are. All American is my canner. And I've been really impressed with both their muffin tins and their cookie sheets. They've been through a lot all the way from Tennessee, traveled a container for months, and came out on the other side in Ecuador doing just great. Last couple. And this is going to make more than one batch. So if you want to go ahead and half it, or you can make this in a traditional cake pan, a 9x13, or really whatever shape that you want. You just have to remember to adjust the temperature and the time more so that it doesn't get overdone. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put these bad boys in the oven. This makes about 24. Preheat your oven to around 350 degrees, and we're gonna stick them in for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. Make sure to check them at 15 because some ovens cook fast, some cook slow, and you don't want to mess this up. All right, so this time we're going to go ahead and get our whisk attachments out, or if you have a hand mixer, to make our cream cheese frosting for our cupcakes. So if you're in Ecuador, this is the brand you're going to want to use. I've tried many others. The consistency of the Tony brand is actually perfect for this cream cheese frosting. So go ahead and get yourself one of the small packages and open it up. We're going to start by combining this with our butter. This is salted butter. I actually enjoy salted butter in this. If you want to have a little more control over your salt content, go ahead and use unsalted butter and just add in what you'd like at the end. So we're going to add 3 sticks of this mantequilla con sal, or salted butter. Along with an entire package of this cream cheese Tony brand, if you can find it. All right, you want these to be at room temperature without being melted. Again, the butter here seems to act a little different than in the States. So if you're in the States, it can be room temperature just fine. If you're here in Ecuador or elsewhere that you run into the same problem, the butter tends to get really oily and too soft. So take it out of the fridge probably about 30 minutes before you're making this recipe, or kind of when you start your cupcakes, and that should be about the right timing. So I'm gonna go ahead and whip this up so it's really creamy and light, and I'll be right back. All right, to this you're gonna add vanilla. My secret ingredient is actually making our own vanilla. We've ordered Ecuadorian vanilla beans here and put it in our favorite whiskey. By making our own whiskey vanilla, this just puts this frosting over the top. Like really, you couldn't go wrong with this. So we're gonna go ahead and add a very healthy dose, which we're almost out of this. Probably about 2 teaspoons to 3 teaspoons of this whiskey vanilla, along with some of this powdered sugar. Go easy on this. You can always add more. You can't take it away. So I'm gonna add about 3/4 of this package here. We'll mix it up and see what the consistency is like and how sweet it is. Remember to start really slow with your mixer so we don't just send powdered sugar everywhere. And as it incorporates, you can whip that up again to the top speed so that we can get this nice, light, fluffy, airy icing. All right, it's time to get them out. They're smelling delicious and have a nice golden crust on them. When in doubt, the nose always knows. Two trays of perfectly cooked cupcakes. They are so good. You can see how fluffy and moist they still are, but we're going to let them cool for about 5 minutes here in the pan. Take them out, set them on the counter, and let them cool for at least an hour. You want to have all the heat out of them before you try to ice them. All right, now that the muffins are cooled off and the icing's a little bit more solid, we're gonna go ahead and put it in our piping bag with whichever kind of tip that you like on it. Go ahead and fill this up. If you fold the bag over on itself a little bit to start, that will actually help keep it a little bit cleaner for this first fill. If you have to fill it again, then it gets a little messy, but help save you for a little bit at least. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this tip right here in the middle and just make a small swirl around and make that beautiful swirl on there. If you want it to be a little bit higher, you can. Just go ahead and get that first part on, around and swirl. And I like this tip especially for this cream cheese icing. It just makes it look really appetizing. All right, and there you have it. Delicious carrot cake cupcakes, perfect for Easter or a birthday or really any other occasion that you want, even if it's just because you want carrot cupcakes. Let me know what your favorite cake flavor is and what you like to bake for your birthday in the comments down below. And if you like our content, don't forget to subscribe and like and share with your family and friends. We'd love to be able to have your support as we continue to have fun here in the kitchen. Thank you.